In this video, I'm going to talk about diagonals. In the wave principle, we can spot four core patterns: the flat, the zigzag, and the triangles. These three are corrective and they go with the trend of the left impulse. But diagonals, they are part of the impulse sequence, and we can spot two kinds of diagonals. The ending diagonal can be found in the end of a wave. It can be in the waves 3, 5, or C, and we are going to talk about these locations later. For now, just focus on the pattern. 3 higher heights, and then it turns around at least 3 movements. And depending on the location, it can be 5 movements and not 3, A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That depends on when is the ending diagonal happening, in what degree, and in what location. Take notice that this is an upward movement. It can happen in a bull market when the price is going up. The other way would be in the down market, in the bear market. It happens like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then ABC, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is the ending diagonal. It's like the wave formation that is happening at the end before turning around. In the other side, we have the leading diagonal. Leading diagonals happens at the first wave when the change of trend is happening. It always happens in wave A or 1, and that can be inside of a corrective wave or the initial of an impulsive sequence. If you see a diagonal and then another diagonal happening, it's most likely to be leading diagonal, and at least 3 movements is going to happen. As you can see here, it's similar to the ending diagonal, but it has 5 movements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it usually ends beyond 3 and looks pretty sharp, more diagonal than the ending, more faster also. This is slow, a little bit lateral, and it has divergence in the indicator. The leading diagonals is fast, but it always ends up with a corrective wave. Returning to the 618, we're gonna see these Fibonacci relationships later, but usually you find 3 movements up before going down again. And now this can be an A and B and C to continue up again. Remember that the leading diagonal can happen also on wave A, not only one. But if it happens in wave 1, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either way, leading diagonals are one of the best ways to spot a good trade, especially when they happens like one diagonal after another. First the ending and then the leading. Here's an example of how we can see the leading diagonal happening in the bottom here with divergence. And the first movement is 1, 2, 3. 3 is extended, 4 and 5. After we see this leading diagonal, we spot here an ABC zigzag, and it goes up again, as you can see, breaking that last top. In this other place, we are watching an ending diagonal happening, not a new low. This can be the 618 or 786 from the last impulse. And the ending diagonal does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with divergence, and the next thing that happens is one movement up, breaking above the pattern, A, B, C, or a triangle in this case, and it goes up again. What happens after 3 movements, A, B, and C? We see another ending diagonal here. This one, it looks pretty beautiful. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember that 3 is extended, so it's 1, 2, 3, then 4, and then 5. And the level of Fibonacci is really important. If you see a diagonal forming in 618 or 786 from some relationship Fibonacci, then it's a very important diagonal that you have to consider. And not all diagonals can be counted like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you just don't have to count it, but just watch the patterns, watch the figures like this one. This is a zigzag. It could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it has a little more smaller movement here, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here you're ending diagonal inside a zigzag. But don't stress too much on that. Just watch the patterns, mark the trend lines, and see how the shapes are looking at a chart, as you can see here in this chart. Practice with doing this, identifying corrective patterns, identifying diagonals, tag them, leave on the trend line so you can see in the future. Don't use ABC first, just mark the trend lines, and watch the patterns develop. And you can see that diagonals are happening everywhere. You can also notice the difference between this diagonal and this one. Remember that I said something about a diagonal after the diagonal? The difference between this is that this rises a lot more than this going down. This is more sharp, this is more slow. And this happened first and this happened afterwards. And you have to notice what happened before. You have another diagonal here, then you know that this is ending diagonal, leading and ending, and then goes up again, A, B, C. So it's really important to watch the size, the force, and the movements. You can see here more rise up. The tree is extended, and you can see down here that it's like slowish. And then it broke above, not below. Here's an example of the leading diagonal. You can see that here's like on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 goes down, and then goes A, B, and C, and they continues to make new laws. Another example of a leading diagonal, you can see spotted here. It didn't turn around, but it made a new law, and after it did a 1 A, B, C to continue lower. At the beginning of Bitcoin rush, it did multiple diagonals. It's very important to spot them. It's like a diagonal, but that makes a new height. That's basically one of the key of leading diagonals. It keeps making new heights. So if you see a diagonal here and a movement here, and a diagonal here, and a new movement, and another diagonal like this is like saying, okay, this instrument is about to rally. If you spot multiple leading diagonals making new heights every time. So just remember that leading diagonals happens at wave A or at wave 1. In this case, extended wave 3. So it's important to notice where the leading diagonal is happening, but at least you can expect two movements in another way, like 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it really depends, but you can actually understand that the leading diagonal and ending diagonal have 3 movements guaranteed next to that pattern. So that's where you want to get in. You get in B and you get out in C. You don't try to get the top in this case. It's really hard unless you match here the Fibonacci and this matches with 618 or 786. Then you get in and your stop loss has to be up here. But you can wait for the breakdown, the pattern here, and you get in this 618 from Fibonacci and go down to your C in this case. So it really depends on your trade setup, but basically diagonals, what you need to do is wait for the breakout, find a corrective pattern outside the structure, and then you get in. Okay, so that's it. That's the main difference between ending diagonals and leading diagonals, is the location. So one of the most important things about ending diagonals is how do we actually trade them? Well, first we need to identify our corrective pattern, and then we know that our ending diagonal will happen at wave C or at wave 5. That means at the end of a structure. In this case it's ABC, and in the end I can see here an ending diagonal. I place my entry at the 618 expecting to get the tip of it. Sometimes it goes to the 786, but it shouldn't go here to the 100%. It means making a new top in this case. And in ending diagonals, we can expect, for example, here to break below the channel, do an ABC below the structure, and we get in a 618. There are 2 types of trades that we can do: getting the top or getting inside the structure that happens after the breakout from the structure here. And please take notice that these 3 higher heights are gonna make 3 lower heights in the RSI or any other oscillator that you use. So usually this is how we trade the ending diagonals. Just remember that after that we're expecting at least 3 movements. So don't go too far with your take profit. It may go down like this, but it could be something like this is wave 4 to continue wave 5. So let's see some examples of ending diagonals. As you can see here, we have an impulse, but it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it broke below the structure. Don't sell here, don't sell here. Wait for the ABC structure to go down and get a profit here, because next movement it turned around. Another example of ending diagonals, you can see here that it did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It broke below a small flat, and then it goes down to the 618, but it didn't go really far away. You could have sold here or here, but it's not really worth it, because this is like the first leg 1, 2, and 3. but then it does another ending diagonal above it, and that is like, okay, here is worth it to get it. So what you do, wait for a breakdown, A, B, C, you get in, and then you write along. Here's another example for the ending diagonal. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 broke below the structure A, B, C, and this is where you get in, and then you can write along all the movement that goes after it turns around. And for the last example, we can see that here's an ending diagonal that happened impulse after it, and we can trade here. We can try to keep the bottom. It's really hard to get the bottom because maybe he can extend and do a extended wave 5 here. So it's best to wait for the breakout and then wait for the retracement. It's always going to do the same. And you wait for this level 618, and you can expect another ending diagonal here because this is A, this is B, and this is C. And here is where you get in, put your stop loss here, and ride along to your next take profit target. Of them do 3 movements to the other side. It's always fun to watch 2 diagonals together because that means that this trend is going to turn around. So basically that's all you need to know about diagonals. Just remember that they happen only in impulsive movements. It's not in wave B corrective. It's always at the end or at the beginning. Ending is the end and leading is the first.